Okay, so today, and here's my dog Judah. Say hi, Judah. Say hello. Your spoiled self. Okay. All right. Here's the ICD-10 book. I know this is an old book. It's a 2019 book, but it's for formality of teaching what you need to know. Okay. Now, this is an AMA book that AAPC uses, that they have in their library when you want to order one, and they also have an ICD-10 CM book that is made by the World Health Organization. So either this book or either the other ICD-10 book by WHO, WHO, World Health Organization. You can use either one of these books for your test. I just need you to be familiar with it. The information.
I have an AMA book.
Okay, so you have the same.
I have that type AMA.
Okay, good. Good. Now let me explain.
Let me ask you something, because other students was talking about getting the Bucks, that theirs was better.
Getting who?
Can you use the Bucks on that exam? Bucks. It's a different brand called Bucks.
Okay, I think that's Carol Buck. I think they speaking of Carol.
Not Buck.
Yeah. Now I think she had a lot to do with writing the other book, which is from the World Health Organization. I think she had a lot to do with writing it per se than it being by her. Okay. But it's exclusively by the World Health Organization. That one to me is a little bit better, but either one is good. The reason why the other folks
would you be able to use that one on the test, so you have to use those?
You can use this one or that one. You can use either one. Either one.
What's the other one?
I'm sorry?
You said AMA, and what's the other one?
Okay, I'm going to show it to you. Yeah, it is by Carol Book. Let me show you. Hold on. Let me show you.
Okay. Because everybody at class was talking about the Carol, and I was like, okay. But that ain't what they wanted us to really.
Okay. Okay. Get back up here. No, Juju. Okay. This is the one by Carol Buck. Okay. This is the one by Carol Buck. And it's an Elsevier book. It's an Elsevier book. And let me look at the publishing of it, because the other books, now I use the old books just for teaching purposes. I don't advise y'all to use old coding books. I only use old coding books for teaching purposes. Now this right here, let me show you. Author and educator, Carol Buck. This is author and educator Carol Buck. And then the other one is a lead technical collaborator, which is Jackie Gross. And I can't see her name can't get her name backwards on here quite well. But the lady with the blonde hair is Carol Buck. Now, let me look. This is by Elsevier. So if you go to Elsevier Publishing Company, you can get this book. Now, let me say this. You're taking your test 6 months from April. Okay. You're going to have to make sure that you use your 2021 coding books. Do you have 2021?
Yeah, we talked about it. I got to get that.
Okay.
Because you know what? Yeah.
So make sure that
you're. I ordered the right books when I.
Okay. Make sure that your agents, all three of these books need to be 2021. The reason why I'm having you to try to take your test early September, God forbid if you have to take the test over. I think they allow you to take it over after 15 days from your test date. So say like if you test on, I don't know, let's just say September 4th. Then 2 weeks from September 4th, they will allow you to test again on September 25th, if that's 2 weeks or 14 days from the 4th. Does that make sense? And you still under the 2021 coding books. Now, if you decide, okay, Ms. Harper, this happened, things that happened, I can't take my test till November the 16th. Okay, that's great. But your 2021 book for this and that and coding, you're going to have to, after November 1st, you're going to have to get a 2022 book. They would not let you test with a 2021 after November 1st. So come Halloween night, the requirements of the book changes. So that's why I'm having you to test like the second or first week of September, if you can. And so by God's grace, amen, you pass it on September 25th, amen, then you ain't got to worry about it. And you don't have to worry about buying any more books, because books should be bought at your job by your job, unless you want to buy it and make it personal yourself. Okay, you no longer have to worry about buying books unless you're going to be an entrepreneur. Even if you're going to do the job remotely from your home, that company, whomever you're working for, should be buying your books, not you. If they say that you need to buy it for whatever reason, but they reimburse you, okay, however they want to handle that, that's great. Make sure they reimburse you, tax and all. Tax and all. Because as a school, most schools don't get charged tax. But you as a student, if you buy this outright, you're gonna get charged some tax. Okay? So I just want to kind of put that out there to you. Now, let me explain this. Now, this book right here, their stuff is a little different. Let me angle this down. Their setup is a little different from this book. Now, let me show you what's different in this book versus the other book. Okay? Give me a minute. I'm going to show you. Okay, so in front of this book, you have, okay, let me do this. You have this sheet here. I got to teach y'all like I used to do my little kindergarten class. Ooh, the colors, illustration, pretty. Ooh. Okay. Now, I'm going through the book page by page because I want y'all to be familiar and learn what's in the book. You have the table of contents. It's going to tell you every little thing what's in the book. Please read the table of content of your book so you know where stuff is. And be familiar and know where stuff is. If you've never worked out of this book before, or if you've never worked out of this book before, you need to learn what's in your book and where stuff is, because they're different. Okay? Now, here you have the table of contents. Okay. And hold on. Table of contents. Okay. Then you have the preface, and then you have the characteristics of the ICD-10. Please read that. Please read that. I'm not saying for you to memorize it. I'm saying read it. Read it again with some clarity. Come put the book down. Come back another day or maybe 2 or 3 hours and read it again slowly. Sometimes it takes that. For me, I have to read things like that. I read it once. I come back. I read it again. I put it down. Come back 2 or 3 hours or next 2 days or 1 day later. And I read it again. And it's like, oh, it's sunk in. Why? Because our minds, we are constantly busy people, busy thinkers. And if you're a person that have a lot on your plate with life, your health, kids, family, your job, your surroundings, your environment, your community. If you're, I'm even though I am in stage renal disease, I still stay pretty active in my mind and within my community via online or texting. So I have to kind of like keep my mind active, and I have to find ways to remind me. Okay. So this is why you need to read all of this, because if you don't familiarize yourself with what's inside your book, you're fumbling to try to figure it out, and you'll mess up on your time. Time is a factor in taking this test. I don't want you to be nervous. That's why we're going to practice 2 or 3 times, because I need you to practice the assimilation of testing. The test is 5.5 hours long. Now, they do have it where you could take the test online from home, but that's 3 hours. I would not do it if I were you, particularly if you've never been in the coding or healthcare professions at all. No, ma'am. No, sir. I would not advise you to take that at home for no 3 hours. You will be wasting your money. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. And that's my professional opinion. Okay? But if you're not new to the game, you have experience, you pretty much know, you just like, then take it at home. But for those who are novice, who's new, fresh out of school, please utilize that 5.5 hours, and we're gonna learn testing strategies, how to take your time. You get a chance to eat snacks at your desk while you're taking your test. Just kind of make sure it's not noisy, or put them in Ziploc bags so it kind of keeps down the noise. And you're going to be able to feed your brain, because your brain metabolizes a lot. So you got to bring some trail mix and some chocolate and some cheese and some meat, some proteins, some blueberries, brain food, but quiet food. Even if you eat some carrots, that's fine. Just make sure they are already in bits where you can chew them quietly and not disturb your surroundings. Okay? Because you do have some people who are surrounding sensitive. And all they're going to say is, oh my God, I hear her crunching. Oh my God, oh my God. So kind of prepare yourself to do that. But that's a good thing, because a lot of test centers would not let you do that. You would have to raise your hand, leave your desk to go to the bathroom, or and the clock's still ticking, or leave your desk to eat your snack and the clock's still ticking. At least if you don't have to use the bathroom, but you're a little hungry after an hour or two, at least you can sit right there and feed your brain. Now that's good. That's a benefit. I wish they would do that for the RHIA test. I really do, but they won't. Anyway, that's another story for another day. All right. Look at this. Official updates. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. Okay, let's go. We're going through this page by page today. Look at this. Some more updates and more updates. Let's keep going through this, through all the updates. Okay, so now we've come to the page where convention tables of the ICD-10 codes. Okay, these are coding assignment beginning with October 1st, 2018, previous code of assignments and stuff. So these are tables that, so say for instance, if they were an old code, it's going to tell you what the old code is versus the new code. Okay. All right. Let's skip through that. Conversion table. Do you see your conversion table in your book? Because I'm going through the AAPC book, the AMA book. I'm going through that book right now. And I'm going to teach you some, because it is different from Carol Buck's book. It is different. Okay. History of the ICD-10. Pay attention to that. How it began. January 1st, 1999. ICD-10 implementation was postponed for many years. La 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 la. And it's going to tell you how it came.
I got the conversion.
Huh?
You said the conversion table. I see it.
Okay, good. Just look at it. I'm not asking you to be a brain scientist and memorize it. I'm asking you to become familiar with it. Okay, so you know what stuff are, because it is an open book test. You using these books, it is an open book test. Okay, now get to the part where it says history of the ICD-10. Kind of read that. The ICD-10 CM and PCS code set as the mandatory standard October 1st, 2015. So they were trying to get this going back in 1999. That's when HIPAA, I think President Clinton may have been in office at that time, I think. Yeah, when they were trying to utilize this. So they postponed it to 2015. So that's when it all came into play. So it's kind of important that they know that, because they may have that on the test, and you may need to know that. That's important. I usually talk to my students about that all the time. Do you see that page? The history of the ICD-10. Do you see that? That's the next page or two.
I don't see the history one. I'm at the contents. That's all I'm looking, trying to see.
History of ICD-10. It should look like this.
Oh, introduction. Okay, I have that.
Okay, very good. All right. Now, turn one with me. The next page should be how to use ICD-10, the complete official code book. Do you see that page?
The official.
Yeah, the complete official code book. How to use the ICD-10. It should look like this page here that I have right here. It should look just like this.
Official updates.
No, look at the camera.
How to use that one. Let's see. What's that one? I gotta go back to this. I'll choose. Okay, I got it.
Okay. All right. Now, I want you to read all about it. Use of official courses, steps to correct coding, organization, introduction, official ICD-10 convention and guidelines, alphabetic index to diseases, neoplasm, table of drugs and chemicals, index to external causes, tabular list of diseases, appendices, Appendix A, Appendix B, Appendix C, Appendix D, Appendix E, Appendix F, and Appendix G, and illustrations. We'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, turn one page over. And you should be on a page that look like this. Overview of ICD-10 official conventions. Look at this page and find this page in your book.
I don't see it.
You don't see this page, baby?
Conventions? Hold on.
Look what it says. Overview of ICD-10 CM official conventions. It looked like this. It should be 1 or 2 pages from your book, from that page we were on.
Format. Version. 10 steps of correct coding. Guidelines. Is it section 1 conventions? Is that how yours?
No, look at this page on the computer, baby. Look at it.
Overview of snack conventions. It doesn't say overview. It just has it on the section. Hold on. I keep looking.
It should say some out abbreviations, format, typeface, general notes.
Mine is called under section 1, conventions, general coding guidelines, and chapter specific guidelines. So I guess it's falling all under those. So I guess I'm in the right spot right here.
Okay.
You say alphabetical index, format, structure, use of code for reporting purposes, placeholder, character, okay. 7th character. Is that it?
Yeah, that sounds like that's about it.
Okay.
And it has inclusion terms, includes notes, excludes notes, what does exclude one? Okay, good. So
ideology, manifestation.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a 2019 book, and your book is what, 2021?
2020.
2020. Okay, so your book is a little different. They edited it and updated it a little different. So again, you have this book. See also instructional notes used in the tablet list. Code first, use additional code. Code also, code assignment and clinical criteria. Excludes notes 2, note, default codes, syndromes, and with and due to. It explains what that means when you're coding. All that good, I'm gonna put it on this screen one more time. All that good stuff. All that good stuff. If you in the same page like me, but it may be worded different, be familiar with it. You need to read it and be familiar with it. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna code. Let's see what's in your book. Hold on just a minute. I'm moving forward. I'm going over to the next page. So in the next page, let me tear my book. In the next page here, it should have additional annotations. See? Additional annotations. And under additional annotations, it should say code level notations. What does it mean when you see italics? Turn this. Italics. Color coding symbols, new code, revised text. It has symbols at the bottom of the book, and I'm going to show you that. Deleted text, additional characters required. It tells you what to do with that. Keyword, Medicare code edits, age and sex edits, newborn age, pediatric age, maternity age. Adult age, male diagnosis only, female diagnosis only, manifestation code, Medicare Advantage risk adjustment edits, CMS HCC conditions, medical quality payment program edits, QPP condition, other code level notations, PDX symbol, what AHA means. So all those beautiful things, you need to read about that under additional annotations. Additional annotations. You need to read that page. I'm not saying again, you need to be familiar. All right, let's go through this book. Okay. Now, again, this is the AAPC book that they use through American Medical Association. So I want you to know that in the middle of us recording this, this is what I'm going through, this ICD-10 book in particular. Okay. Now, the next book, the next page, it should have talks about footnotes. It should have talks about chapter level notations, chapter specific guidelines with coding examples, muscle and tendon table, index notations. Okay, it should have all those kind of things in here in this book. Let me bring it up to the screen a little bit closer. And it's still under additional annotations. Additional annotations. I want you to be familiar with that. Okay. Now, we're coming to this beautiful page. This beautiful page. Look at the screen. This one says, and again, this is an old book. I'm just using it for teaching purposes. 2019 ICD-10 CM official guidelines for coding and reporting. You should see this book here, this page right here. So let me the screen so that you all can pay attention, because I want y'all to find this page in your book. If it's 2020 book, find this page. If you have a 2021 book, find this page. When you get the 2022 book for November 1st, find this page. Okay. What I'm preaching today, it works for all the coding books. It works for all of them. Okay. Now, in this book, this is going to give you coding guideline information. Then it's going to tell you right down here. Bring it down a little bit. Bring it over a little bit. Let me see if it's changed your screen. It's going to tell you the section conventions, general coding guidelines, and chapter specific guidelines. Okay. Now, in ICD-10 book, there's 21 chapters. There's 21 chapters, all the way from A to Z. There's 21 chapters, and each chapter has its own anatomical behavior, sickness and disease type, according to the chapter. Okay, if it's the neoplasm chapter, if it's the respiratory chapter, if it's the integumentary chapter, if it's the eye and DEXA chapter, if it's the gastrointestinal chapter, trust me, each thing system going on with the body has a chapter. Okay, you need to be familiar with that. Look at this. Coding conventions for ICD-10. First one, the alphabetic index. Learn the alphabetic index. Now, you're probably saying, well, Miss Harper, what is the alphabetic index? I'm glad you asked. Here's where the different parts go. And I think I'm going to do it this way so I don't have to repeat myself when I come to this other book. I'm going to try to skip along a little bit here. So don't stay where you are. Watch me. Stay where you are. Look at me. Okay. Now, because I'm coming back to where you are, so don't turn in your book. I need you to stay right where you are. I'm coming right back. Okay, now, this page right here, this says index to diseases and injury. Okay, this is what we call volume 2. Volume 2. Okay, volume 2 is at the front of the book. For the AMA book, that's AAPC uses through their agency. Okay. If you're looking for the disease, bacteria is in here. If you're looking for injury, it's in here. If you're looking for fracture, everything is in alphabetical order. Okay. That's why they call it the alphabetic index. It's in alphabetical order according to the condition, disease, or illness. Okay. Volume 2 is in the front of this book. Okay. Now, when you turn here and get to the back, then you're looking at volume 1. Hold on. Volume 1. Volume 1 is the tabular list of diseases and injuries. It's the tabular list. The tabular list has according to its sickness, its injury, its disease, and alphabetic fashion, if you will. A6619, B123, C452.3, D699.2. But each alphabet has a representative chapter to it. Now, pay attention. Volume 2 in the front, volume 1 in the back. Now, to me, this is appropriate because when I taught it from the Carroll book and the World Health Organization book, okay, volume 1 was in the front. This was in the front. This was in the back. Okay. We have always taught our students that the first place you go to find your diseases, your illnesses, and your injuries, the first place you go to is volume 2. Okay. Volume 2 is in the front. How appropriate. Once you find what you need in volume 2, you go to volume 1 to verify what you found in volume 2. Please do not take for granted or verbatim what's in volume 2. You need to verify what you find in volume 2 in volume 1. This is appropriately set. However, the principles of how we teach it is still the same. It's just the books listed different. Now I'm going to show you something. This is in the AAPC book. Okay. I'm going to show you where volume 1 is. It has just about the same setup in here, the coding rules, the coding guidelines, the additional annotations, yada, yada, yada. Okay. I'm going to show you. This is in the Carroll book. Okay. I'm going to show y'all this. Okay. This is what it is. All the coding guidelines and everything you need to know is in the front, just like the AAPC book through the AMA. The illustrations that are in the Carroll book is in the front. Okay. The illustrations let me show y'all where the illustrations are in the AMA book that AAPC uses. Let me show you where theirs is. Theirs is in the very back. I'm going to show you. Give me a minute. I'm getting there. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Hold on. Page is kind of sticky. Hold on. These pages are kind of sticky. Okay. All right. In the American Medical Association book, illustrations are in the back of the book. The very last thing, the illustrations is in the back of the book for the AMA book. Okay. I just want y'all to see how different this is. The anatomical illustrations in the Carroll book is in the front. See the difference? Okay. Now, I'm going to skip through the Netter's anatomy illustration because they have the same thing. The alphabetic index. Remember, I told you the alphabetic index, this is volume 1. How appropriate. In the Carol Buck's book, it's in the front. This is the alphabetic index. I remember I told you all chapters are what? In alphabetical order. A something, Z something, X something, Y something, you name it. A through Z. All 21 chapters are in alphabetical order. The alphabetic index is volume 1. It is appropriately as well put in the front. The principle of how we teach this is that this is going to be the last thing you confirm. Okay? Now, I'm going to come out of the alphabetic index. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Alphabetic index is in the front. This is volume 1. Okay. No, I was right. This is volume 2. Volume 2 is in the front. Wait. Let me catch myself. Give me a minute. Volume 2 is the alphabetic index. Volume 1 is the tabular list. So let me hold up just a minute. Let me look at something because the World Health Organization, their coding books. Oh, you know what? I stand corrected. Let me correct myself right now. I stand corrected. Volume 2, which is the alphabetic index right here. This is the Carol book. This is the AAPC book. And right here is the Carol Buck book. This is also the alphabetic index. Both of the volume 2 is in the front. Okay. But when I was teaching it a long time ago, she decided to do the same thing that AAPC did. When I was teaching it a long time ago, they used to have volume 2 in the back, volume 3 after that, and volume 1 in the front. Okay, so if you get a coding book, a World Health Organization coding book, and I don't know if they have those anymore now that I'm really revising what I'm saying, and I apologize, don't mean to confuse you. Because this says part 2. Right here, this is part 1. Hold on, let me show you. Hold on. Okay. Nope, not there. Give me a minute. Okay. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. In the Carol Buck's book, they have volume 1 in the back. Okay, I stand corrected. I apologize. And they have volume 2 in the front. So Carol Buck's book is written the same way AMA has it. They have the volume 2 in the front, and they have volume 1 in the back. Yeah. There you go. The tabular list is volume 1. The alphabetic list is volume 2. Like I said, a long time ago when I taught this out of the ICD-10 book that was written by the World Health Organization, they had the volume 2 in the back and the volume 1 with all these beautiful codes and stuff in the front. And I used to teach my students that when you get ready to code, you always go to volume 2 first, which is this. And volume 2 was where volume 1 is. And then you'll go back to the front of the book and look at volume 1 and verify your code. But this has been appropriately set. This has been appropriately set. Okay. So they do have this appropriately set where volume 2 is in the front, which makes sense. And you verify in volume 1 in the back. Now, before they had ICD-10, when it was ICD-9, written by the World Health Organization, there was volume 1, the tabular list, then volume 2, the alphabetic list, and then volume 3. They used to have the ICD-10 books with the ICD-10 PCS books. They used to have volumes 1, 2, and 3 all together in one book. So if you were an inpatient or acute care coder, then you would use the ICD-10 PCS book for procedure coding. It wasn't used for diagnosis coding. It was used for procedure coding. ICD-10 PCS. I'm sorry, ICD-9 PCS. Sorry. But since they implemented the ICD-10 replaced ICD-9 in 2014, 2015. And they have written these books according to how they should be. Okay, so I guess that was an answer to my prayer from a long time ago. Now they have volume 2 appropriately in the front, volume 1 appropriately in the back. Whatever was volume 3 ICD-10 PCS for inpatient procedure coding is a separate book now. That separate book is ICD-10 PCS. It's a whole separate book. And I think that was great that they did that, because it may have confused a lot of newcomers that was coming into the field. They didn't know whether to use volume 3 or volume 1. And I always emphasized in my teaching, check back through all my videos. I have 100 and some videos, and I preach this all the time. You know, don't use volume 3 or ICD-10 PCS in doctor's office coding. You're wrong. If you do that, you're wrong. ICD-10 PCS is only for inpatient procedure coding. Okay? If you're doing outpatient procedure coding, you use this. Okay? I can't say it enough. Okay, so I kind of I got stuck in my old mental way of thinking and how I've been teaching. I've been in the field 35 years and I've been teaching this since 2003. So my apologies. I do keep up. I just got lost in it for a minute. Okay, so this is appropriately set. So now I'm going to put Carol Buck down. So now y'all know they are. Volume 2 is where? Where's volume 2 tonight?
We just went over this. That's in the front. Oh, you talking about
You just
you
said
need to
it.
know the exact.
Where is it located in the ICD-10 book? Where is volume 2 located in the ICD-10 book? You just said it.
In the front.
In the front. Where is volume 2 located?
That's the index. That's in the back.
That's in the back.
Well, yeah.
It's in the back. Yes, pumpkin. Yeah. A little salt and a little pepper. If you don't worry about it. Okay. Thank you, baby. I'm sorry. I was supposed to cook hamburgers for my husband. I got lost in my teaching. Okay.
You need to go cook for him now?
Oh, no. He got it. We bought a foodie, so he good. Okay. Hold on, baby. Hold on. Okay. So alphabetic index is called the volume 2. Tabular index is called volume 1. Now repeat what I said.
Volume 1 is the tabular list. Volume 2 is the index.
Alphabetical
index.
Thank you. And why is it called alphabetical index?
That's the part where it lists actual all the codes, which are all the official like diseases and injuries and stuff.
According to,
or what other terms?
According to what? Alphabetical order.
Alphabetical order, yes, ma'am.
Alphabetical order. Tabular list, volume 1, lists all of the what chapters? All of the disease chapters, all of the anatomical chapters. How many chapters are in volume 1?
Ain't it like 20 some chapters total?
21.
Oh, volume 1. No, that's
21.
I want to say
21. 21.
21. Okay.
21 chapters. 21 chapters. 21 chapters in volume 1.
Okay. 21 and 1.
Mm-hmm. Alphabetic index is going to talk about all of the diseases, all of the conditions, the injuries, the fractures, everything according to alphabetic order. So if it's bacteria,
and it also has the illustrations too in that section.
Yes.
The table they have the illustrations.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So I'm gonna put Carol Buck's book down for a minute.
Sound like me, but Carol.
I know, right? La 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 la, tongue twine, tongue la la la. Okay, now let's go back to where I told you not to move. I hope y'all did not move. Move. All right. Let's go back. I'm still in the AMA book for AAPC. Look at this. For coding and reporting. It looked like a registration. For reporting. Okay. Now, on here, it's going to start off telling you all about the coding guidelines and introduction, what's involved in the guidelines. The guidelines are organized into sections. They're organized into sections. Section 1, let me pull this down. Section 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they tell you what each section is all about. Okay? Now, conventions, general coding guidelines, and chapter-specific guidelines. Okay, so in A, it has conventions of the ICD-10 code and all of its outline of what's all in here, all of its outline. Then it has B, general coding guidelines. So you need to be familiar with what's all involved in general coding guidelines. There's 19 guidelines here. Chapter-specific coding guidelines in C. They have this listed like this. Let me get my highlighter. You can understand. You need to understand there's an A, there's a B, and there's a C. Okay? Now, let me explain to you why that is important. Let me find me a blank sheet of paper. Give me a minute. If that blank sheet of paper says A, let's see something. Let's see. I'm going to say it's found in coding guidelines. Okay, coding guidelines. Okay, B dot 1 dot C dot 3. It's going to look just like that when you read some things. It's going to look just like that. You might get graded and it's going to tell you, look at this coding guideline. That means you need to look at coding guideline. And it's going to tell you under section 1. Section 1. It's going to tell you, you need to look at coding section 1, outline B, Be part of the outline. First verse. Letter C of the first verse. The third sentence of the C verse of CM1. It's going to look just like that when you get graded. That's why I want you to be familiar with the book. Again, I'm not asking you to be a rocket scientist and memorize everything. I want you to be familiar to know where, because if you're familiar to know where stuff is, the coding guideline is, all this beautiful stuff, then it shouldn't take you a lot of time to know, oh, I remember seeing that. That was in section 1. You've already taken 20 minutes. You already saved yourself 20 seconds. Seconds count. You saved yourself 20 seconds. Now you're going to use the next 10 seconds to find B, and to find 1, and then to find C, and then to find 3. And we're going to have a little exercise about that. Okay? You need to be familiar with it. It's too much. Come on now. Pay attention. It's too much to memorize all this. I'm sorry. It's just not possible. Not when you're a novice. Now, if you've been in the game like me, 35 years, maybe 10 years, I give it 5 years. You're going to pretty much know what stuff is, and you're going to sometimes check after November 1st. Let me see if this code is still the same. And then you'll be like, yeah, that code is still the same. Yeah, girl, and the guidelines too. La, 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 la. Then you good to go. But if you're a novice, take your time. They're going to train you anyway. Take your time doing this. I'd rather you do 5 charts or 1 or 2 charts or 3 charts a day than to do 10 or 20 charts a day and you're not understanding how you're being graded. You're not understanding how you're finding your stuff. Are you hearing me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Take your time. They're gonna give you that training period. Sometimes give you 3 to 6 months training period to get it. Then they're gonna say, okay, now we're gonna put you on production. You good enough to do 10 charts in an hour, maybe 5 charts in an hour. We're gonna see how well you do with that. Okay, so you doing 5 charts an hour, you're doing 90%. Okay, that's good. You know, we're gonna grade 10% of your work. I don't know, we're gonna grade 20%, maybe 30% of your work. Okay, well, out of all that, then you know what you're doing. Okay, now we're going to increase you to 20 charts a day or 30 charts a day, which is pretty busy. You're going to be a busy chick. Depending on what you're coding, what you're building, you're going to be real busy. If you're going to work in the insurance industry like I did, I was a claims adjuster in the insurance industry. Before I was a claims adjuster and auditor, I was a claims examiner. We had to do 80 claims a day. That means you're doing 10 claims an hour. You don't have time to be gossiping, talking, playing, messing around on the clock, being on social media. You ain't got time, baby, because it's going to show on your production. And if you put up too much stuff on our production and them auditors grading your work, then you're not paying attention to your work. You're doing careless work. Are we going to fire you? No, we're just going to give you constant verbal warning. Now, you constantly doing this after we done warned you 3, 4, 5 times, then we're going to have to put you on a PIP. Because you're not taking what we're saying serious. Either you're not listening to us, you're not getting the understanding, you're not asking us questions, or maybe you just don't want to be here. We just got to kind of organize you on your way out. Which one is it? Okay? So that's the real world of that. Is not to scare you. It's just telling you when you're doing coding on the provider side, when you're doing billing on the provider side, it weighs just as much or heavy as you would doing the paying out on the insurance side as a claims examiner or claims adjuster. It matters just that much. Okay? So either side of the river, you paying or sending the bill. Paying, I've done both sides. That's why I've been in this 35 years. I paid it and I sent the checks. I did both sides of the work. So I know how they do. Okay. Let's get back to this. So you have chapters A. I'm sorry. In the outline, you have A, you have B and C. Pay attention to all this, where stuff is. Be familiar with it. If you got it, like I said, if you got to go back through it one day, 2 or 3 pages. The next day, go back through it again. The next day, I'll say, okay, I got it in my mind. I got it in my heart. I got it in my spirit. It's working. Okay? Now, let's go through section 2. Oh, I'm sorry. Now, the next page over, it should be talking about section 2, selection of principal diagnosis. It's going to tell you how to code for a principal diagnosis. There's certain, where is that at? Oh, right here. There's certain coding rules for section 2. For should you have an injury code as the primary diagnosis versus an actual disease or illness code? No. That's why you need to read this. Okay. Section 3, reporting additional diagnosis. Section 4, diagnostic coding and reporting guidelines. So you see all this in your book? I know, baby, you just Cadillac chilling. You just Cadillac chilling. I understand, baby. I understand. Well, we're going to cut it right here because I've been going, how long, baby? How long? And we'll pick up part 2. I've been going almost a whole hour just running my mouth. Okay. So I want you to look at this page right here. Again, official coding guidelines for reporting. Look at this page right here. This page here. And read what sections 1, 2, 3, and 4 is all about. Okay? Now, the reason why I recorded this video, so you can play it over and over again. You can play it at night on low so you can get in your spirit. You'll be like, oh my God, I went to bed praying about what Miss Harper said. Oh my goodness, I know this. Okay, great. That's a beautiful thing. Okay. Then you can play your church music and your scriptures and la. Okay. All right. So we're going to end it right there. You have your homework, right?
Is it the same ones?
The ones I sent you through the text message. All those beautiful numbers.
When are we meeting again?
Today is Tuesday. So I like this. I think we're going to do 1 hour on Tuesday and 1 hour on Saturday. So we're going to meet again on Saturday from 10 to 11.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So you're going to have your homework done? You're going to work on your homework?
Yes, ma'am. I'll have those done.
All right.
I have them done.
Okay. All right. So you got, what is this, Wednesday through really Saturday at 9 o'clock, which is 10 o'clock your time, I think it is. No. You're on the same time zone with me.
I'm on your time zone.
That's right. So you have till 9:59:60 Saturday.
Okay.
All right. You can do it tonight. You can do it, baby. I believe in you. I have faith in you, girl. You can do this. Yes, you can do this. Okay. It's only 10 questions. If you do 3 today, 3 tomorrow, 3 the next day, you done. Okay.
I can do it.
All right. Well, all right, honey bun. You have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you Saturday at 10.
Okay.
All right. You have a good one.
All right. You too.
Okay. Bye-bye, honey.
Bye-bye.